Because I noticed there are certain areas where momentum is moving forward, and I see it and feel it more than others. So,
well, momentum is moving on everything that you're focused upon. Momentum is moving on everything that you're focused upon.
okay.
In other words, it's like if you hold a cork under the water and you let it go, there's momentum in its own buoyancy. Do you get that? In other words, that cork's going to fall up. There's momentum in its buoyancy. And so holding the cork under the water is what negative momentum is in this less than perfect analogy. But when you stop doing that thing you're doing that is holding the cork under the water and you let go of it, it's going to move up, and there is going to be a certain amount of momentum in it, you see. So we know, we called this the science of deliberate creation until we saw you going, ooh, got to control my thoughts. Cancel, suck that thought back. And then we explained there is no sucking it back, there's just not spewing it forward anymore. In other words, it's like imagine yourself moving through this clear space and this red inky mist is spewing out of you with every negative thought. And suddenly, well, not suddenly, gradually, eventually, occasionally, you don't spew it. And so it dissipates. But if you keep spewing it, then there's always red inky mist in front of you. But if you stop spewing it, then there isn't. And so it's a progressive thing. You just get better and better at it.
Can I ask one other little?
Yeah.
And this is a 10-second thing. In terms of,
he's warning us that he's going to start a momentum.
it's okay. There's no momentum. It's one of the areas that I noticed not any movement.
Well, then let's add momentum to the not movement of this area.
I get it. Okay, but it's part of.
In other words, let's not.
I get it.
You be selective sifters and think about the things that you want to add momentum to. Do you get it that whatever you're focused upon, you are adding momentum to? Do you get it that you can find resonance with unwanted things, and that's what momentum is?
Yeah, I get that.
Do you get it that when you find resonance with unwanted things, you are not resonance with wanted things, and that's why you feel negative emotion? Isn't it lovely to have a guidance system that's letting you know incrementally what you're doing so that you can just start fresh today, do your best. Esther said to us, Abraham, I refuse to accept that I have to wait clear until tomorrow to get positive momentum going again. Just because the train left the rails, does that really mean that I have to go through a whole day and then go to sleep? We said you could meditate. Meditate is helpful because when you meditate, you quiet your mind. That stops momentum. Or you could find something that's always easy for you to feel good about and focus on that. You could pet your cat or your dog. There are things that you can go to that every time you go to them mentally, you find relief or absence of resistance in them. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. We're just suggesting that if you do it every morning, and then as you do it, then you become more aware of when you're doing it and when you're not doing it. When you do it on purpose. And you know what the best thing about doing something on purpose is? The best thing about deliberately lining up with who you really are. The best thing about identifying a desire and focusing on it and feeling good feeling emotions flowing through you while you focus upon it. The best thing about that is that as the revelations and realizations begin happening in your life, and they will, you'll recognize your part in them. That's the best part of becoming a conscious, deliberate creator, is that you'll recall, oh yeah, I remember I did a focus wheel about that. I got myself feeling really good about that. I know I left my resistance behind about that. And now here's evidence of the shift in my vibration. You all are in such a good position because you have this platform of well-being that you stand on. And you have absolute free will to focus. Freedom beyond description. And you have source energy already knowing everything that you've asked for and all that you want all queued up for you. And you have an emotional guidance system within you to let you know in every moment how you're doing. And you have this keen awareness that gets to recognize all the motion that you are making. In other words, talk about a creative experience. As sculptors, you never take a big glob of clay and just throw it down on the table and then say, oh, I thought it would turn out better than that. You want to get your hands in it. You want to convey to the medium your idea of how you would like it to look. And so this is an exercise of positive creativity. You're not here being challenged or tested. You're here with every resource imaginable. And when we say that, we could not mean it more. Every resource imaginable there for you to focus toward what matters to you. So when you focus and you just feel sort of good, and you acknowledge, I just feel sort of good, and then you stay focused on it a little longer until you really feel your juices begin to flow, and then you're really feeling your juices begin to flow until you actually are finding yourself feeling excited about the idea of it. And then manifestations start happening to help you to realize it even further. You begin to feel exactly as you are, like the most blessed being in all of the universe, with all of these resources flowing to you and through you. But you've got to adjust to the stream of the resources. If you summon more than you're up to speed with, it's a little jerky. If you summon more than you allow, you have a really rough ride. If you don't summon as much as you're up to speed with, you feel lethargy and boredom. In other words, you're the one that gets to decide how it is, and you get to decide it not just every morning, you get to decide it all day, every day. You get to decide it in every encounter that you have with every person. You get to decide it in every thought that wafts into your consciousness. You get to decide. We're watching Esther now, and she's discovering a thought will begin to just waft into her consciousness, and she will contemplate the thought and acknowledge, is this a thought that I want to increase momentum on or decrease momentum on? And just like that, she's able to change the subject in her own mind. This is a new understanding. This is law of attraction at its most advanced understanding, you see.